Welcome back to the front desk. It's your girl Therapy and
Miss K. Jones.
And we have my special guest, which is a childhood friend of mine, and he is...
It's KinPin in the building.
That's it. It's KinPin, and we're going to have his @name at the bottom now. KinPin, thank you for coming on the show, and tell us what you about. Tell the people what you got going on. You make some noise.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Facts. Let's make some noise. I'm about some of this, some of that. A whole lot of dabbling. At the end of the day, I figured out how to call it all one thing, and that one thing is concept development. So that's what I'm doing.
Here we are.
Concept development. I'm feeling that.
So it's dope. It's glad to have you on the show. Later on, we're going to get into you and what you got going on. But
Thank
as
you.
always, we kick it off like this. We always like to address the matter at hand, a specific topic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you being a man, we just wanted to bring you to, bring some life to this conversation. So how you want to kick this off, P?
All right, so we're going to kick it off with the topic, of course. The topic is paying attention to your surroundings. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this topic to the show because I thought that it would bring situational awareness, alertness. We could bring facts to the table. This may be on the serious side, of things compared to the other episodes that we had. But also a reason why I wanted to bring awareness to this is because of the experiences that I've went through and the things that I've survived and dealt with, just as a woman, being out here in New York City, traveling the trains, walking around and stuff like that. To start off with some questions. Start off with Kay. Have you ever felt like you had to, pay attention to your surroundings, or was there ever a time where you felt like, oh, if I didn't pay attention to that, I would have never known?
Okay, so I'm in this room. Let me make sure everything's good. We all situated. All right, everything's
We good.
I'm on the ground. So to be honest, I feel like it's good that you bring this topic up. People, especially with technology, we don't pay attention. We feel like other people are supposed to pay attention for us. But to answer that, your gut always tell you when something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in a lot of situations where I probably felt like if I didn't listen to my gut, it probably could have went sideways. So I'm gonna say yes. And I have a story to tell, but I ain't about to tell you that story right now.
Come on, how you keeping the story from the front desk?
Okay, so let's jump into it, right?
Right.
So Labor Day, outside, shorts, you put your shorts on, your boom boom shorts, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You're outside.
I got you.
And I'm going home. I never forget this. I'm going home and I feel a guy, something tells me he's following me, but there's a guy, an old guy that live on the corner of my block that he comes out every night to smoke. So I saw him, I was like, hey, I don't even know the man's name. I just always say hey to him, we talk about nothing. He'd be like,
yeah.
I see your grass is growing. Stupid conversations like that. Them dumb conversations.
Grass is going?
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't know about that one.
And I feel this guy, I felt like he was following me. So on my block, we have these places where people plant. They have, I feel like a green thumb or some shit like that. On the block, that's what we have. We're passing there, and I feel like the guy's following me. You know the squares on the block, right?
Yeah.
I'm in a square, he's in a square. Nobody walked that close, right? So I turn to how my house is, right? So my house is right here, and the gate is right here, and the house is up there.
Right.
So I got in the gate, I closed the gate, and I'm fumbling for my keys, and I turn around, and this man was jacking off.
Ooh.
Now, if I had continued walking, because across the street we have trees and stuff, and there's no light on that side. So I'm like, if I had kept walking, this would have gave him an opportunity to do something.
Of course.
But because I got to the house and put the key in there, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, what the fuck are you doing? And he put it in and walked away. To be honest with you, after that, I was scared. I didn't want to be next to my window or nothing because my thing was
traumatizing, right?
Right. I don't. The thing is, I wear glasses. And at that time, I didn't have contacts in. So I could have been on a train with this man. I didn't know who he was because I couldn't see it. Luckily, we got cameras on the house, right? Mm-hmm. So it's good you bring that, and my thing was that I went to the police. And they were like, he didn't do nothing to you. So I'm like, oh, he had to rape me. I can't say this on YouTube. He had to grape me for y'all to do something. And it was like, kind of like, yeah. So I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy. So I was scared for a long time.
Wow.
I was, and then in the back of my mind, it's like if I had kept walking, I'm telling you, he would have had a chance to do something. It's just so lucky that my house was right there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Girl, I was scared.
Wow.
And, no, but hold on. Not to run, not to do that. But I'm gonna say this real quick. After that happened to me, I got off at the train station. The train is not far from my house. I went to another party like weeks later. And I got an Uber. I called the Uber, and the Uber took like 20 minutes to come. When he finally came, he said, "Miss, you live right there. Why wouldn't you walk home?" I said, "Sure, shut the fuck up." I was like, "You know what I've been through? You gonna tell?" I said, "You know what I've been through? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me to tell you? I'm paying you. I'm paying." I was like, "Sir, shut up." I was like, "I'm paying you. Don't worry about why I could have walked 5 minutes." Because I'm trying to run from this guy that could possibly be on the block still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you're scared. Anyway.
I'm telling you, being scared, I've definitely, I got stories to tell, but I want to go to KinPin. Was there ever a time where you felt like, you paid attention to your surroundings, you noticed something that wasn't right, and you acted on it, you trusted your instinct, or maybe even a time where you even put a female on, like, yo, sis, like, I don't think you should do that, like, be careful, like, this ain't it.
So yeah, my mind started wandering, but in the context of like relationship and like this polarity that we continually dealing with, I feel like I set myself up though. I feel like the minute I notice something and I like say something, I speak on it, or like I let the person know that I know, then like they switch up and I put myself in like a whole vortex of trying to figure out again like what's going on. But yeah, I'm always feeling like I need to pay attention. I have trust issues.
That's all right. That's all right. We all do. Like, shit. I know I do.
The shit.
Yeah.
Everything. I'm looking at everything. I'm watching everything. I'm calling everything out. And the minute like someone is opposing, or I feel like someone is opposing me on my observation, I'm like, yo, you're bugging.
But have you ever? But hold on. Have you ever been out and you out with your homegirl or whatever? She's leaving with a guy. You're like, yo, I don't think you don't want to do that.
Yo, that's happened to me once. Like some girl trying to leave with me, and some dude was like, nah. And it's like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Like, mind your business.
Right.
But he probably picked up on something.
Right. Maybe that. Maybe he was trying to protect her. Like, whatever the case is, but I don't know. I feel like there's a very thin line in between, like, being, like, for sure what you're seeing, what, like, what you're noticing. I don't care.
Put people on their guard. You could tell me shut up all you want to. I don't think that's something smart for you to do. But funny story, right? I'm in Jamaica. We chilling. This guy, he didn't come with the girl. She was drunk as a bat. And he said he know her. So he's like, yo, you should come with me. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I saw that he was he couldn't have done nothing with her with us around. So he was like, nah, I'm going to try to put her on the right path to go home. So I'm supposed to get in his car. I'm like, nah, y'all take my car. The rider I was supposed to get, y'all take my car. Tell me why I'm at the club and Shorty pull up in a whole nother car. I said, she's like, hey, girl. I said, so I called the guy. I said, yo, she got a twin? He said, no, she left with another man. I said, what? He was trying to protect her. But she wasn't on that. She didn't want that protection. That's another topic. But anyway, she didn't want it.
I actually have a story too. Me myself, I was followed twice, as far as I can remember, and it's because I was aware of my surroundings. Now, growing up, I was raised by my mom, my grandmother. They always put me on to like, be careful. You are a young woman. You're beautiful. All of these things, and it's just like, be careful because there are some predators out here. So, long story short, I lived in the Bronx at the time. Got off the train, and the guy was on the train. I was looking around. Yeah, you in your phone, you checking messages, emails, and calls and whatnot. But I look around, and I see who's around me, and I see who's getting off the same stop as me, and who's walking the same blocks as me. I notice these things.
Yeah.
After
a while, you pick it up.
You pick it up because you're aware. You're just not in your phone or tuned into your music so much that you just tuned out from your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? So when I got off the 6 train, I'm walking up the block. And I live 3 blocks from the train. So I'm walking up the block. I notice this dude is following me. All right, cool. He following me. I don't really know what to do. In my mind, I'm just like, well, damn, how I'm going to shake this? So, I get to the corner, and the next block is my block. So at the corner, there's this 99-cent store, discount store. So I said, all right, I'm a finesse. I'm going to shake him because I don't know he's following me, but I just got this gut feeling, and a woman's gut feeling just don't lie. You know what I'm saying? So I went into the store. I pretended like I was looking at deodorant, some gel. I'm just kind of playing it off. And then I look out the window, and he's like lurking back and forth, looking in the store. He's watching me. I'm watching him. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I come out the store. He's at the corner just waiting. So I proceed. And it's broad daylight. Now, these things don't have to happen after midnight, y'all. Danger can happen anytime. It's broad daylight, and here I am walking on my block, and I saw a guy with a bike and food in the tray. He had to be Uber Eats or DoorDash. You know what I'm saying? So here I am approaching my block, but I don't want this man that's following me to know where I live. I don't want him to see me go up the stairs and go, because who knows if this is his thing? Who knows if he catch my routine? He knows when I leave. He knows when I come back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just alert. So I go to the guy with the delivery outside, and he's just looking lost, like he's trying to deliver the food. So I go up to him and I asked him, I said, hey, you trying to deliver food? He was like, yeah, you live here? I said, no, I don't live here. But then I pointed to the guy who was following me. I said, maybe he lives here. Maybe he could tell you what's going on. And the guy who was following me was just like, oh, I swear to God, his whole persona gave like, oh, shit, what is she telling him?
No, that was
like,
smart as hell.
And he turned around and he left. And when he was out of sight, I said, you know what? I don't think he lives here. You might want to just keep calling who you calling, and I'm going to just go. And I ran to my crib, and I went upstairs, and I told my mama the story. And I said, Ma, he was following me, like, from the train. He was on my car in the train.
No,
and
that was smart as
you know
hell,
what I'm
that
saying?
was
How
smart.
I go
That was
into the
smart.
store, and I'm still seeing him lurking around. Come on. And that's the first time. Now, the second time was in New Jersey, and I shaked him, too. But it's just like, from a young girl, I was always taught, when, from the moment I started traveling by myself, from the moment I started taking the train, the bus, walking to school, whatever, pay attention. Yeah. Don't be caught up in your phone. When you with your friends, don't be too goofy and stuff like that. Because actually, me and my best friend actually got robbed over on Sutter and Rutland. We was only, 15 years old. Sidekick, they took his sidekick. They had a knife. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he watching this, he gonna gag, because it's like, we really got robbed because
that era.
Because we was in McDonald's right there on Sutter and Rutland. We was cracking jokes. We was just in our own world, and these dudes was just kind of watching us the whole time, kind of plotting. So it's just like, you just never know who's watching you, who's plotting, who's following you. So you really need to just be aware. Don't let text messages and emails and TikTok and Instagram distract you from the real world, because that makes you vulnerable.
Hold on. A lot of people, I just want to say this, right? I think we only remember this when the news come on. There's a lot of people that's sick and twisted out here, okay? Sick and twisted out here.
You said it. You ain't lying.
Yeah. The news. It's only when the news come on, we're like, oh, shit, they're crazy. Nah, people crazy for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? But what about, like, in a club, though? When you in a club, and as a female, guys try to come to females all the time. They're trying to buy drinks. A lot of them trying to put stuff inside the drinks. If you leave that drink, don't drink that drink when you come back. I don't care how much you pay for it.
Listen, I am the queen of take my drink with me to the bathroom. I know I can't go outside with my drink now. Usually, the drink is gone if I have to go outside. But if I have to go to the bathroom or walk away from the bar, my table, wherever, I'm taking my drink. I never really like to, Kay, watch my drink while I go to the bathroom, because you're mingling. You're doing your thing. Take my drink with me. What you think?
It's real interesting to listen to y'all, because I don't know. I think by the age of 15, 16, I felt like, yeah, I'm good out here. You feel me? Like, I don't know, I felt really confident, and I didn't feel like I needed to look over my shoulder. The minute police pop up, I start to feel like how y'all feel.
And that's boys in the hood. You know what I'm saying? The police be after the boys in the hood.
I don't know that feeling. Like, not really. Lately.
But you know what, though? I never forget this. When I was in school, this lady said sometimes when you think certain things, it happens to you. And not saying it can't happen to you, but if you're always out here lurking and looking for stuff,
that
you're
part,
gonna find it.
I was watching some podcast or something somewhere, and a lady mentioned, like basically her putting her head down when she walks past black people, because she knows her people are inferior to our people, but we just don't have the courage to stand up. So she's like,
it's a white lady?
White lady scared of black men, because she knows that at any moment he could just wild out.
Why?
That's stereotyping,
though. It's that. It comes back to a very stereotypical perception and how we feel about society. So,
but it's a lot of white people and black people. I hate to say it, but it's a lot of black people too that's scared of us.
Right.
Scared of their own people because of
Listen,
how
I don't care
because you wear a cap, or because your pants is baggy, or because you know, you got a hip hop shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of stereotype you to being dangerous or like you're gonna cause them harm, and it's not even like that.
Hold
like,
on, I'm telling you, I'm not that type. I don't care who you are. You could be the white guy with a glasses on, and I see you acting funny outside. I'm moving. You could be a
acting
black
funny
guy.
is one thing, but
know
just
what I'm saying?
looking a certain way is another.
I don't care who you are. I don't trust nobody. So
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
I'm
But,
looking
like,
at you funny.
Down to the root of it, like when I got here from Barbados, I was looking at people to say good morning and hello and stuff like that, and that shit was not what was happening.
This New York City.
It's a fact. You feel me? So I felt weird. I'm looking
You're
around
lucky
like
if somebody's good morning.
like, I'm looking around like, yo, what's going on? Then I
Yeah.
realized like, yo, everybody really in their own world kind of, and it's like,
Yes, they are. They
You-
are.
you-
They
you-
will run right into you, bump you, and step on your toes and keep on moving. They
I
won't.
feel like that's city life, to be honest,
Mhm.
because when I go to Jamaica, I'm from a part where they will consider the country. People act like how they act here, and if I go to the actual country, people are nice. Oh, morning, how you doing? Everything good? All right. That's just how it's just. I think it's just city life, fast paced, fast moving. Nobody got time. But what about being in a club, right? And a man buying a female a drink and then feels entitled. You know, because you know how you feel when somebody buy you a drink and they
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like
it's happened
they
before.
feel like they you mine for the night, and they might start to follow you. You know, where again technology. I mean, a lot of people aren't understanding of themselves, right? And I feel like we use technology to deflect, because I know as a female, if you're walking past a group of dudes, you'd rather look at your phone so none of them speak to you. That's what females do.
Yes.
They look at your phone, they scrolling so
AirPods,
nobody
headphones.
speak with you or
Yes.
put the headphones in, but
just
then you're
to
not
like
aware.
cancel the whole eye contact thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I did that when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
16 to like 21. I did that. I know I did that. But now as you know, I'm 30 years old. I will look you right in the face. I'm looking everybody in the face, and I want to know what y'all wearing and what
Facts.
colors y'all got on and who you.
It's true,
I'm not
it's true.
scared. I don't do the whole phone. I even pause my music because I want to know what you said.
Like, what's up?
You know, so
You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm too old to be shy and bashful. No, I want to know what's going on.
I look
And
good, too.
Yeah,
No,
like
but-
I'm alert. I'm very alert these days because of what I've been through, and I'm gonna touch into another topic after you finish.
But I used to talk to this guy that I don't want to say talk to. Oh no, I was cool with this guy, and he was incarcerated, right? So one time he called me on the phone. He was incarcerated throughout his like young days or something, and he called me. We were talking about something, and he said, "Hold on." I said, "Why?" He said, "I'm about to pass some guys." That's when you talking about tapping into, because he wanted to read everybody's body language. before
Yes,
he
it's
passed.
important.
Yeah.
I
didn't
want to know the
understand.
vibe. I want to know the energy.
He said, hold on. I've never heard nobody tell me, hold on in the middle of a conversation. Why? I'm about to pass some guys. And he read everybody's energy. And he was like, yeah, all right. I was like, oh, that's what the, oh.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm totally into reading energy now. It's no more trying to distract myself just because I'm nervous walking in front of 5 guys. No, I want to look you right in your face because I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to know who's talking to me.
Because I don't want you to,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? But you see how crazy back this incarceration thing. That incarceration thing heighten your senses, man, because they be knowing. He was like, this dude, he's about to do something dumb. I'm like, how you know?
It's a tight knit community behind them bars, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
things travel fast. So out here, you're making me think like, yeah, when people come home, they definitely like they're wired.
Yo,
to-
senses is
wired.
high.
So
Like, damn.
it like for him to know like, yo, I gotta put you on hold for me to analyze this situation is him like prioritizing his focus, and you could take that disrespectfully.
No. I thought it was weird.
One could,
Yeah, I
one
thought it
could
was
find
weird.
it funny, but like we don't really always have the capacity to be multitasking and like
This is true.
so you know like you on your phone with your arguing and somebody following you don't know because you stressed out.
You
over damn-
dealing with something right
So-
now, like your attention.
technology thing I'm
but
talking
that
about.
also makes you vulnerable to the predator.
No, but that's what I'm saying. People, you see, what you're saying now brings awareness. Nobody care about no damn predator. They doing what they doing right now on this phone.
But I feel like that's how a lot of people get shanked. They get robbed. They get kidnapped.
She's a shank.
They get
Shanked.
they get shanked. You know, I watch the news.
Shot.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yo,
Blinking.
I took that app off my phone, Citizens app, because it's like America's Most Wanted. When I was a kid, it scares the shit out of me.
Again, I don't know how to say this, but I've said it already. I'm gonna say it again. Your body tells you when stuff is not right. I remember one time when I was being followed. I knew I was being followed because the way how the person was driving behind me.
Driving too?
Yeah, I just
Ooh.
knew. It's just the way how they was driving told me that I was being followed.
Right.
And then I got to where I was going, and somebody sitting in the car, and I'm like, you don't belong here. I've never. I pay attention. I pay attention, but I ain't pay attention enough to this neighborhood, and I know you don't belong here. And I was right. You wasn't supposed to be here. And it's my body told me. How did I just suddenly feel like I was being followed?
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't just suddenly happen.
It's a feeling that comes over you. And to go back to storytelling, one time I was on a train from the Bronx going into Brooklyn, but I was like in Manhattan. You know, I was en route. And I'm looking at this guy, and this guy was real shady. You know, yeah, I'm on my phone listening to my music or whatever. I'm in the little two-seater. But I'm looking around like I always do, and this guy looking a little shady, and I see him sitting, and he's looking at Shorty on her phone. And I'm looking like he trying, why he looking at her like that? And then I'm like, mind my business or whatever. But I also saw him switch seats. And to me, when a dude is fidgeting and switching seats, that's a sign like something ain't right. So he switched his seat, and then he like moved up, and he's just kind of like plotting. I saw the whole thing, and I kid you not, the doors opened at a stop. And you know how the doors open, and then it takes a few seconds for them doors to close. So right before them doors closed, he got up, snatched the girl phone, and went through the doors, and the doors closed. And I'm like, oh, I saw that whole plot. And I didn't know what he was up to, but I knew he was up to something. And I wish I could have told Shorty, like, yo, get off your phone and look at this dude that's in your face because he's gonna rob you right now. He about to rob you.
This is when she should have been like, oh, can I ask you something real quick? And the girl. And she should have been like, what? And
distracted her so that he can kind of step off. I wish I did, and I hate telling that story because I really watched that whole plot.
Yeah, she learned.
Yes.
Facts. Nah, speaking on saving the day, I was at like a peace treaty in the United Nations back in like 2017 or something like that. And on the way back to school, some dude on a bike got like hit by a bus. He jumped off the bus. He jumped off the bike, jumped on the bus, started beating the bus driver with the chain. I'm looking at 100 people on the corner. Not 100, it felt like 100, but it might have been 50 people on the corner just sitting there watching like,
Right.
The dude threw 2 punches. Ooh. I'm on the bus, I got him grabbed up. Everybody like, superhero moment. And it's that, just paying attention is like, yo, bro, come on. It's an old man on the bus about to get
paying attention goes a long way. It goes a long way.
What happens? Here comes the cops. And I'm like, I'm out.
You're out.
I'm out.
Now, I got one thing to raise for y'all. Now, people say, a lot of times research, not even just people, but research says that there's a such thing as hyperventilating. You know what I'm saying? There's a such thing as overly being over alert or just being overly cautious. Do y'all think that is a result of PTSD, or do y'all think that's just,
people just being too much sometimes? I feel like
sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes it can be scary.
I've never thought of hyperventilating like that, but
hold on.
Fire.
The Citizen app, like you said, is one that could put you in a state of always looking for something
could trigger you.
to happen.
Facts.
That's true. That's true.
And yeah, you could, especially somebody like me who's experienced what I told you and you experienced, we should be living like these people that's always...
Yeah. I'm not trying to live like that, bro. Like, come on now.
Yeah. So I feel like life is real, life is happening, and you should be aware. Point blank, period. So if you want to be out here scared, be on your own, because I'm outside and I'm paying attention, but I'm going to have fun too.
And that's what you should do.
Security. Feel secure.
Secure.
How do you gain that security by staying inside? You got to go out there. You got to fall. Got to get back up. So I do agree with y'all. I think it's important that we heighten our awareness, not to the point that we hyperventilate, and not to the extreme, but we should be aware.
We should be aware, definitely. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, is to just bring awareness, bring alertness. There's a lot of young kids. I travel all the time, and I'm seeing a lot of 13, 14-year-olds out here by themselves, and they just have no idea because they've never survived things. They never went through things. They've really never been outside. Followed. They never been.
But let's talk about this. I see a lot
attacked
of
or nothing.
Younger parents having children, and they're scared to put their kids on to take the train or the bus by themselves. And I'm talking about some 14-year-old kids. They feel like, now I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to tell nobody how to parent, but I feel like nothing much has changed in the atmosphere as far as when we were younger, even when they were younger. There's still perverts out there. It doesn't matter. And then I'm
it
like,
could be your next door neighbor.
exactly.
For real.
So it's
Probably
like,
more
let this
now.
child tell them
More.
what they need to know.
More now. Pardon me.
It's a tell them what they. Now listen. Go check all them records. They tell you about people that's on this list. It didn't change. It's the same numbers.
It's here,
But what
y'all.
I'm saying, what I'm
He
saying
live
to you, and
right on the end of your block.
and then I'm not saying crime, and crime didn't get more gruesome. Crime has always been crime.
Yes,
But what I'm
yes.
saying is, I'm not a parent. I feel like you should let your child be aware, and teach them the ropes, because then a lot of times that means they're not gonna go to school because you can't carry them. A 15-year-old, you got a 13-year-old that came across the street by himself. I think that's a problem. That's just my opinion. And you shouldn't be in high school getting dropped off and picked off. Who's me? Unless your child needs that assistance. But
I totally agree with that. You know, I don't have kids. Actually, Marcus, you have a kid.
I have a kid. Yeah.
And with your son, do you teach him, safety and awareness and alertness? I know he's 9, right? He's still young, but
yeah.
he's approaching that age where he should be
Nah,
alert.
facts. Absolutely. It's right around that age where like they're able to absorb everything like overnight. So yeah, it's like it's controversial because it's like how much can you put in a child's face,
Yeah.
As a father, I feel like as a young man, I was not ready, but I was able to like I was competent enough to understand that it was just situational. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
you
I get
know,
what
so
you're saying.
in Barbados, like the idea of the birds and the bees is like, by the age of 7, I knew what sex was. You feel me? I'm
right.
walking up or whatever. You feel me? All the things we were going through. So I just grew up with a different culture where like we could curse amongst our friends, but not among our parents.
Right.
It's different.
It's rules.
So
yeah.
I was an adult as a kid around other kids,
No,
right.
but when I was with adults, I knew that I
You
was
was
just
a
a child.
That's
You
and
knew
that's
how
the
to stay in a child's place,
So,
but you was like in
With that
here
being
with it.
said,
get
I
it.
would love to give the world to the kid, knowing that they're gonna among each other, teach each other, grow with each other and whatnot. But some folks don't want their child learning about sex from another student.
And I think that's an issue. I think for people to not want their kids to learn about real life things like sex is reproduction. That's how we all got here. Hello. If you don't want your child to know about that, by the time the child is interested or curious about knowing it, then what are you doing?
Yeah, but back to this whole making your child be 16, you dropping them off. I don't know.
I
man.
don't like that.
I don't have children, but I think something wrong with that. Man.
I don't have children either.
Nah, so that thing, I was coming home like from school by myself at an early age, and even in Barbados, like my brothers, they were young, like 11, 12, getting on the bus, going to school by themselves. So it's situational. Like, you feel me? The village out there, like when I got here, my mom was worried or claimed she was worried for my
I'm sure
safety,
she was
right?
worried about her boy,
Yeah, right?
out here in the world.
Yeah, I say that to say there's a lot of things people distracted. Like,
All right, so at this part of the show, we're going to get into KinPin and everything he got going on and the things that he do. He is a creator. Tell us about it.
Facts. That's KinPin. Real G's moving silence. That's what that's about. Facts. Everybody kings. Everybody queens.
I know that's right.
It's facts. I believe in me. I believe in us, and that's where like this shit started with me developing myself as an artist, trying to understand why I was misunderstood. And I just realized that we all got our own language. We all got our own thing going on. So where did it start? It started with me coming from like a big family for the most part, like in the Caribbean. I have 2 sisters and 5 brothers, but like I got 8 aunts, 8 uncles from each side of my
Big
family,
yeah.
from
Yeah,
mom
big
and
family.
dad. So it's like that. You got a lot of cousins and whatnot.
Yeah. But so how did you get into, at what age did you know that you were a creative?
I didn't know I was an artist until like I've like tapped in. It was like 16, 17. I tapped into the idea of like etymology the words, where words come from, and I was literally on Google like, yo, define art. And when I glitched into that and it said the definition of art was expression, I realized that everything is art.
Everything, literally.
Everything.
It's funny because, like, you know, I tapped in at the age of 8, writing poetry, rapping and stuff. And then I started, I guess, when I got to like 12, maybe 13, I started drawing and painting. And then as I got older, I started cooking. Then as I got older, I started tapping into fashion. You know, everything is an art. And it's if you really an artist, like, at heart, you're going to find the art in any and everything on this earth that you can do and put together and create, and it's so fun. I find the fun and joy in it. You know what I'm saying?
Getting goosebumps thinking about the journey, because it was overnight. One day it was just like, yo, go to school because you got to be a scholar, and then it was like, nah, that's not really who I am. And I realized, like, I was making kites, I was doing a lot of things as a child that was just like artsy,
just
that's flying. People, you know, I'm here in the park flying kites, and folks are all excited about that shit. And I'm like, yo, it's a kite, bro. Like, and you know,
really, you inspire people just by that alone, and that's what's dope about being an artist, inspiring people.
Facts.
So, what can you tell somebody that's trying to find themselves right now? Because you seem to be at a place, you seem to be at a place of acceptance of, like, where you are right now. You know, so I'm like, there's a lot of people, I'm pretty sure you're still trying to find yourself, because we never really find it. But I'm saying, I think you're at a place where, you know, you're cool.
Yep.
So if somebody is lost right now, they're trying to be like, yo, what should I do?
Nah, it's making sense for me. Like, honestly, I grew up around a lot of drugs. So the idea of the term KinPin, that was floating around a lot. That's how I gravitated to that. But it was just that. It was just me paying attention to my community, my environment, paying attention to the village and who I was and how, like, I fit in my village. So, you know, it's just that. I feel like we all kind of got a role to play within the family.
What would you tell somebody right now that's trying to get to a place of acceptance and, you know, be who they want to be? Keep going.
Definitely keep going. Don't stop. But the same thing. Pay attention. Be analytical.
Pay attention.
Be analytical of, like, what's actually happening. Don't let anyone or nobody run you around the block. Like, this industry is crazy right now.
It is.
Like, we all got some crazy shit inside of us, and to tap into that potential, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of focus.
Yes, it does.
It's not cheap.
True.
It's I like how you said, you asked him, you know, finding himself, you know. And just the other day I was talking to somebody, and she said the same thing. I'm trying to find myself, and I was just like, you know, the older I get, like at this age, this stage of my life, I don't want to call it finding myself. I want to call it creating myself.
But not, and it's like, it's endless. It's endless.
It's endless. I feel like in this life, we're not finding ourselves. We're creating ourselves. You know, we're writing our story. We're you know, we're really creating ourselves, and that's what we're doing. You never knew that you would be doing all of this at this age when you was, you know, 20 years ago.
Not 20 years ago, but...
Not 20 years. You created this.
Nah, absolutely.
You created everything about you and what you're doing.
I like that. Creating yourself.
All of us did, you know?
You know what's crazy?
I was in therapy when I was born. But I created therapy.
The other day I thought to myself, the life I envision for myself is possible.
Yes.
I just have to make it happen.
Yes.
So what you just said, creating yourself.
Yeah. Girl, you are.
You got KinPin right here.
He's the bomb, y'all. He got a lot going on. That's actually his creation. Show them your shirt right there with the chain shirt, the bling bling with the hat to match. I love the Nipsey blue and all of that.
You know so crazy? I didn't notice it until we've been talking. How long we been here?
Yeah.
I just peeped it. I was like, oh.
That's his sign right there, KinPin.
That's the logo. So trying to symbolize and keep it to a language. Like,
that's dope. You know, honestly, this you talk about being aware. I didn't even look him up and down. Now I'm looking
That's
at him.
why this episode is called "Paying Attention to Your Surroundings."
So on that note, Sorry. So on that note, people, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, especially guys, a lot of guys aren't aware because I see you guys used to get beat up too. But be aware of your surroundings.
And teach your kids to be aware of their surroundings. If you're not with your child all the time, you know, the workplace, school environment, it don't matter. Just a lot of weird stuff is going on in the world. Be safe.
Why you off the camera? Pull up in the camera so they can see you.